Hey, good evening, you guys. I came on a few minutes early. I made me something quick to eat. I made some rotel. It was good too. How is everybody doing? I like for my rotel to be spicy, so I always get the spicy, the hot rotel. I see the Black Barbie, Tyranny, Gerald, Keita. Today has been a good day, y'all. Y'all know I love candles and diffusers, right? So, hey, Diane. So when I left home today, before I went to work this morning, I made sure that I found some candles in Walmart, the banana cream pie. So I lit one in every room, even the restroom, and I found some I forget what it's called, those drops that you put in the diffuser, banana. I ordered it from Amazon. Oh my God, my house smelled just like banana pie when I walked in from work. I was like, and don't y'all know I didn't even like bananas growing up. My taste buds changed. Y'all know we just do small talk for 5 minutes until after 5 minutes we get the show started. Y'all know I just be chit chatting. My taste buds changed when I got pregnant. I hate when I got pregnant with my first daughter. I could not hold any food down. I started hating pizza. I remember there used to be a pizza place in Memphis called Pizza Inn. It was called, it was a Pizza Hut and a Pizza Inn. And I ordered this Sicilian pizza from Pizza Inn, and it came right back up. And the taste that it left in my mouth, I hated pizzas for a very long time because I couldn't really eat anything but fish and French fries with her, just like with my other baby. And then I started eating bananas with my second baby, and I started eating black olives. So my taste buds kind of changed when I was carrying. So, yeah, what made me bring that up, child? Just talking and shit, talking about bananas. My house smelling like banana cream pie. I've been ordering a lot of candles, and I'm gonna tell y'all something else. I'm gonna do a giveaway. It's something that I discovered, and I want to buy like a set, and I'm gonna give it away for Christmas. We'll do like like we normally do on here. I'm gonna tell y'all something that I discovered. Paris Hilton cookware. It is so perfect. I'm telling you, it is so perfect. I love cooking with it. You can't get nothing to stick to it. It just comes right off easily. And I was like, I'm going to get the whole set. And that's going to be one of my giveaways for Christmas. One of Tamara's favorite things or something like that. And another thing, like my facial stuff, like my skin, my regimen that I use on my skin. I think I want to. I'm already, I'm of course I'm do something for my, my moderators, of course, but I think I want to do that too. I know that I got to do something neutral, right? Because I know the men saying they don't want no cookware, they don't want no skincare. I got to do something so if a man wins, he could keep it and not give it to his wife. He might want to keep it for himself. Let me tell you something. I be wearing Paris Hilton perfume to this day. She got one that I always buy. It's still in Burlington, and I always get compliments. It's a light scent, and I love it. Anyways, you guys, we want to talk about Finesse 2 times was arrested, and then I want to talk about Pastor Winans chastised a woman, okay, for giving $1,200. And I found that story interesting because I got to thinking about why the newer generation is starting to turn their back on church. Now, there are a lot of great pastors. There are so many great pastors. Like my uncle, okay, is a pastor. He has a big church in Detroit. He just opened up a church in Memphis last year. Okay. He bought up a whole block, a whole 2-3 block of houses in Detroit, redid them, and helped. I think he charged them $500 rent until he helped them, showed them how to build their credit. Once they got their credit built, he then sold them the houses. Made them first-time home buyers. Okay? Believe it or not, he's in Memphis and he's doing the same thing. His church, we have church on Saturdays. I go to his church on Saturdays. I go to another church a lot of times on Sundays too, or I go to one or the other. But the name of his church is Up From the World. It's on Jackson. Okay. The thing I love about him, and that's how pastors should be, he shows you how to build your credit. He's coming here. He's buying houses. He bought a house in the Whitehaven area. It's funny. I got to tell y'all, this is just amazing. I'm going to tell y'all how God works. I had a case, okay? And I remember I had a case and I had to go to the house, right? And I was like, okay, this house is vacant, okay? So the house was vacant. And then I was like, well, let me go back. Okay, because I was like, well, let me, the next day I went back and I saw a lot of people out there working. So I got out and I started talking to them about, a situation that had happened. And they was telling me about, the house had been vacant. We're just here to work. Had no idea my uncle had just bought this house. And I was like, this is really a nice home. I mean, the houses in the area is very beautiful. It's just that an older lady had passed away, had been vacant for a long time, and I guess criminals knew it, right? And so, anyways, I happened to see him on Facebook, and he was talking about, this is the house I just bought, and I was like, wow, I was just there, and I was talking to the guys, and they was like, we're just taking everything out of the house because they're gonna gut it out and redo it. It had a swimming pool in the back and everything. When I saw him talking about he had just bought that house and he was redoing it because he was going to resell it, I was like, oh my God. So I called him and I was talking to him. He's like, let me tell you something, niece. He was like, if you want the house now, once we finish, he said, it's gonna be just like a brand new house. It's a 2-story home. I don't need no 2 stories. But he was like, I said, well, leave the swimming pool back there. Leave the swimming pool back there. He was like, we're going to assess it and see, is it worth it? How much work needs to be done to the swimming pool. But it's just, I don't know. But anyways, he's doing the same thing. He's doing the same thing in Memphis. When you have pastors like that, that's a blessing. Okay. I believe that's what the Bible is talking about. Okay. But a lot of pastors feel like everything is strictly supposed to be for them and their families, and you're supposed to give them your last. Okay. Now, remember I told y'all, like back in 2002, I was thinking about going to ministry school. I wanted to go to ministry school. I always love reading the Bible, learning about the Bible and all of that. Okay, like helping people. That's where I get that spirit from of helping people. But dealing with these bitches, and a lot of these bitches in Memphis make you not want to help nobody, because a lot of them straight up gutter. They gutter work. Okay, not all of them. I could talk about them. I'm from Memphis, and they got that fucked up mentality. Whereas if a person is good to you, bitch, you ought to be glad that they good to you. You ain't getting over on them. That the spirit of God has touched their heart to be good to you. But what you do is you finesse yourself out of a blessing, because a lot of you a bunch of damn gutter rats. Okay. Okay. But anyways, I wanted to be an evangelist. I'm serious. Like, I love reading about the Bible, talking about the Bible, helping people, and all of that. Okay. So anyways, one of the reasons I didn't do it, I started getting around like the mothers of the church, and I started trying to help in church, in certain churches. I started because I wanted to go to Mason Temple. That was Bible school. Y'all, they were so mean. They were so mean and competitive. It didn't make no sense. They were so mean. They was mean. Them folks was mean. I was like, wow, a lot of the things that go, y'all, it's really sad, right? And it's sad when people are talking about God all the time, but they don't carry the fruits of the Spirit. They don't carry the fruits of the Spirit, right? Okay. So, anyways, now we see a lot of pastors. I remember I was going to a church over there and I'm going somewhere. I get to thinking about all them experiences that I had when I was really just I was searching for God. I was a single mother, a young mother. I wanted to live right. And I was like, Lord, I've had kids. Oh, Lord have mercy. I was like, Lord, I've had kids. I'm a single mother. I've had kids, and that I was like, I want to live right. I want to raise my girls up in the church. And I was struggling myself. I was going every Sunday, putting money in the church and everything. And at that time, my kids' fathers were not doing right because they couldn't control me. Okay, they said since I had all that mouth, you got all that mouth, you're gonna have to force me. I had one of them to say, since you got all that mouth, what you're gonna have to do is you're gonna have to force me to do something. You're gonna have to force every time you need something, you got to force me to do it. Okay. And that's exactly what I did to that bitch. He went to jail every 6 months. Okay. He told me to do it. I guess he thought, I don't know what he thought, but I wasn't playing with him. Okay. Because by that time I was working for MPD, and he would move, or he was a rolling stone because he was real good looking. You know how them girls be loving them mixed boys. They thought he was something because he was mixed. And so, but what he would do was he would get a ticket. And at that time, I was working in felony response, and we could go and look at who got tickets. Every single time he got a ticket, he always got a ticket. Okay. I would see what his new address was and send the sheriffs to his house. He told me to do it, and that's what I did. Okay. I believe in honoring what people like, what people want. That's what he wanted, and I honored that. Okay. By sending the sheriffs to pick his ass up. Okay. And so, anyways, I was searching for God. I was searching for God, trying to do right. And so I started going to this church over there on Winchester. Okay. It's this real big church over there in Winchester and Kirby. I ain't gonna say the name of it. And I was sitting in there, and every time I got ready to go join the church, my youngest daughter, who was so spoiled, okay, she would always get the crying. Okay, she would always, she just cried all the time because all I did was put on my shoulder and hold her all the time. So she didn't want to sit down by herself, none of that. So I was like, dog can't join the church this Sunday. Dog can't join the church every Sunday. And I was going for months. She would get the cutting up. And so I couldn't join. I didn't go down there and join. And so one Sunday, it was about a June. I was listening to the pastor say, he said, we want to pay this church off. he brought out this Goliath. He said, each and every time we get ready, we pay off something, we're gonna cut off a part of the church, because he had bought some stuff over across the street, made a radio station, all that. We're gonna cut off the arm of Goliath. He said, so I want for everybody in this church, and it was a big congregation, to donate $1,000. Now, me, a single mother, ain't got $1,000 to my name. Okay, just making a little bit of money, working for the police department at that time as a clerk. And so I was like, okay. He was like, you're gonna have to make some sacrifices. You make those sacrifices, sometimes you have to go without. When you go without, that's when God bless you. You're gonna have to have a broken spirit. You're gonna have to starve some of that. You're gonna have to starve sometimes. Y'all, people was clapping and saying amen and all of that. And I'm thinking to myself, I can't let my kids starve. I can't starve. I got to get back and forth to work. Anyways, but I was giving. I was like, well, I'm gonna try to make a pledge of giving like $50 every week. I mean, $25 or something. And that's what I'm gonna have to do, because I can't just give $1,000 right now. Be quiet, hell. So anyways, to make a long story short, one Sunday I was like, Lord, this is what I got to do in order to be blessed. I said, God, I gotta come up with it some kind of way. Okay. This is what I got to do to be blessed. So anyways, so I come to church one Sunday, and he stands up in the pulpit and says, now around this time, it's like around September, because he gave us from June to September to get the $1,000. He was like, that's enough time. So September came, and so he was like, because they had a daycare in the church, they had a lot of stuff in the church, and he was like, I've been looking at the books, and some of the people that work for me, that work in the daycare, work for the school and stuff, work for the radio station, y'all haven't given y'all $1,000. He said, I gave y'all until June to September. He says, now the people that work for me, he said, those that don't work for me, now you're going to have to deal with God. He said, you're going to have to deal with God, because your blessing was tied up in giving me that $1,000 to pay this church out. This is a house of God. He said, and those that work for me, I'm going to give you 2 more months. And if you have not pledged your $1,000, I'm going to start replacing y'all. I'm going to fire y'all. I never went back to that church. Number one, I knew how I was struggling, constantly trying to get up to my $1,000, being a young single mama. And he was threatening to fire the people that work for him if they didn't give their $1,000, right? I never went back to the church. So after that, look, I'm gonna whoop y'all. Look, I said stop. So that's one of the reasons, you all. Like, I went to another church, okay? Okay, from there I went to another church. I decided to, I remember I had called the prayer line that night. I wanted prayer. I wanted prayer, okay? And I remember it just like it was yesterday. I called a praying line, and I was hollering and crying. And I was like, I was talking to the lady. I was like, I need prayer, because I don't know. I think I was going through a postpartum or something. And so she was like, why don't you come to church? Why don't you come to the church? She said, so we'll come and pick you up. So me and my baby and my sister and stuff, me and my babies and my sister went to the church. And so anyways, when I got to the church, there was a church in South Memphis, y'all. So they was like, anybody need to be prayed for? They was having church at the night service. And so the lady that came, the praying warrior came, she came and pick us up. She's like, yeah, her name is Tamara. Come on up here. Okay. I had on a nice suit and everything, y'all. Anyways, this particular pastor kept, y'all, I don't want to talk about it. And that pastor, and then years later, the exact same pastor, when I started doing business, okay, when I started selling advertisement for TV, I took a meeting with that exact same pastor that couldn't keep his eyes. He called himself, was praying for me. He kept looking down at my damn breasts. They probably was big because I had just had a damn baby. Okay. So, but years later, okay, they're just big anyways. They always been big. Okay. But years later, I went and I was so excited because this is a big pastor in Memphis. And I called to see if he wanted to put his church services on my network. I'm like, I'm a black woman, and my dad had bought me all that time on Comcast. So he was like, I buy it, I pay for it. You start getting out selling it. Okay. So you can recoup the money. So I was like, oh, okay. I was just so excited. I was like, I'm building a network. I'm thinking I'm gonna be the next Oprah Winfrey, right? Okay. I'm thinking I'm gonna be the next Oprah Winfrey. Look, Cleveland's grave digger says, I knew you was effing the cussing pastor. Oh, Lord Jesus. Lord, I rebuke you in the name of Jesus. I rebuke you in the name of Jesus, grave digger. Okay, go crawl back. Go crawl back in that sewer you came out of. Y'all watch the comments, because for some reason they want to come in here with that. Okay. It's some pitiful folks. I ain't never seen so many damn people be worried about my coochie. They lied like I was. Let me tell you motherfuckers something. When I was working for that police department, I was a young girl that was naive. I had 2 babies, and I had probably been with 3 men. Them motherfucking police officers couldn't touch me. Don't you know, with the way I just said I was struggling? See, you bitches are simple. Okay, you motherfuckers simple. Because if I had been fucking them police officers, I would have hit a motherfucking lick. Do you understand me? That money would have been plentiful. Y'all bitches the one that lay on your backs for nothing, and now you bitter. Okay? If I was going to do it, I would have did it right. Okay? That's if I was going to do it. But see, I ain't never been no whore. I know how to use my mind to go get anything that I want. And I ain't never had to give up nothing to get it. Okay? You better get you some of that, you bitter bitches. Okay? But anyways, years later, okay? And it wasn't going to be, and let me just say this. It wasn't going to be no damn patrolman that I was going to be laying with. You motherfuckers don't know the ranks and how it go. If I was going to be laying with somebody, it was going to be the chief. And when I did date somebody, he went all the way up to the motherfucking director. You better ask somebody, okay? Y'all the one fucking for crumbs and still ain't got shit. Okay? Anyways, I digress. Okay? So, anyways, y'all, when I went there, okay? When I went there, you guys, and I took a meeting with this pastor, okay? He was out of South Memphis, got a big church. People love him. All the scandals that this man has had. I was so excited. I was telling everybody, y'all, I got a meeting with such and such. He's going, I got a meeting with him, talk to him about putting his church services on my TV network. I was so excited. And my mom and them loved to hear him preach and stuff. Y'all, when I got there, when I walked into his office, you know how you extend your arm, because I was so excited to shake his hand. This man scratched me in my hand. He scratched me in my hand. That hurt me so bad. It hurt me so bad. It was ridiculous. But I'm going to tell y'all something I did, because I am from South Memphis. Listen, Franklin, untaped them balls, okay? Y'all, I had to ball my fist up. okay? And I had put my fist up under my thigh because I was gonna get that Negro. I was having to contain myself because when I'm hurt, I will do something to you if you hurt me. Emotionally, I have them natural reflexes. Okay. I had to sit on with my fist balled up under my thigh because I wanted to swing on that old bitch. Okay. Now I'm a young woman that's trying to build a business. This is a pastor, a well-known pastor, although he's had a lot of scandal in his church. Why would he do me like that? And that's what I'm talking about. Okay. So when you motherfuckers get around here talking about, well, she was them patrolmen couldn't do nothing for me. Hell, I had a pastor that was known for taking the church's money and starting all types of businesses for women. If I was gonna be a whore, I was gonna be a high dollar one, okay? Because I ran in them circles to be able to be one. I just wasn't like that, okay? I just wasn't like that, and I'm glad that I wasn't, okay? But this is one of the reasons, y'all, that people are starting, the younger generation, they can catch on the game. They're real smart. So they know how to catch on to game real quick. Okay. And it's because of a lot of this stuff. But the only thing about it is they don't know how to decipher a crooked preacher from God, because a lot of these preachers want you to think that they are next to God. And I think a lot of these young folks don't know how to decipher that. Okay. They don't. So it's turning them away from God. And God ain't pleased with that. A lot of these pastors are going to have to answer for a lot of what they do. Okay. So I want to show y'all this right here. Okay. I'm going to show y'all this. Okay. Pastor Marvin Winans. And I love Pastor, his singing. Let the church say amen. I still believe. Lord, you are so faithful. Y'all know I put him up and that y'all, I love his music, but the man is mean. Okay. I started looking at Pastor Winans a certain way when he refused to baptize children of illegitimate children, as they say, mothers, meaning mothers who were not married. He had his staff to baptize them. He only baptized children, he says himself, that was conceived in holy matrimony. Y'all come on now. That it's getting out. It has been gotten out of hand. Okay. But here it is right here. Let's look at the pastor. Okay. He can sing now. He can sing. Okay. It says Pastor Winans is going viral for chastising Roberta McCoy, a member of his church, who handed him $1,235 offering instead of the $2,000 that he asked for a new church, to build a new church. Normally, church folks give what they can afford in the form of tithes to the church, but McCoy only had $1,235 to give. Now, that's only $1,200, Pastor Winans scolded her. Y'all not listening to what I'm saying, he told his congregants. If you have 1,000 plus 1,000, that ain't what I asked you to do, he told her. Okay, it says, but let's look at this, okay? Let's look at it.
I, Roberta McCoy, given faith and stand in unity with the vision of perfecting church, of sowing this seed of $1,000 plus $235 and receiving the blessings to come to all that participated.
Now that's only $1,200.
Yes.
Y'all not listening to what I'm saying. If you have 1,000 plus 1,000.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna work on the other 800.
Well, that ain't what I asked you to do.
Now, this lady just gave him $1,235, which was probably every dime that she had, because she put the 35 onto it and everything. And he scalded her. He scalded her. Y'all see how he talked to her? And this lady just gave him $1,235. Now, let me just read this, what they're saying about Detroit. It says, with Detroit facing nearly 7% unemployment and national inflation at 3.2%, many questioned the timing and tone. Some saw the moment as emblematic of prosperity. Gospel extremes where giving big is equated with receiving divine blessings, even when it strains household budgets. Perfecting Church, led by WINANS since '89, has faced multiple public criticisms. A $13 to $15 million construction project has stalled for years, with Detroit suing over the site in 2023. In 2018, a former housekeeper sued WINANS for allegedly firing her over not tithing 10% of her income. The church's aggressive fundraising history has fueled long-time calls for greater transparency. Didn't I just tell y'all that pastor did that? That he said he was going in Memphis. Now you see that a housekeeper said that she was fired because he fired her because she wouldn't give him 10% of the money he paid her back. Okay. Now let me just say this. I believe in tithes. Okay. I do. I tithe. I do. I believe in tithes. But the Bible says that the tithes is for the widows and the children. It says you're supposed to bring the tithes to a storehouse, which means, that's what the Bible say. If I'm wrong, somebody correct me, which means it could be food or anything. Okay. That's what I thought, but they made it into just being money. Okay. And I don't see a whole lot of them feeding the widows and the children. Okay. I don't see a lot of that. That was just downright cruel. And so when you see a younger generation and they look at stuff like that, it totally turns them away from the church. $1,200 is a lot of money to give for a building that, okay, he wanted a $13 to $15 million building. Why? Shit. Why does the building got to be $13 to $15 million? Because that's what he want. And he talked to them. He wants them to pay for it, but yet he talked to them like that. Okay. Right. And I'm sure that $1,200, maybe that was for a build. That's for the building fund, right? Because he said $1,000 plus another $1,000. They feed the widows. They are sleeping. Lord have mercy. They feeding their damn ego. Right. They're feeding their egos, y'all. That's messed up. And I think a lot of these pastors, a lot of them think they're going to heaven, but I don't know where they're going to go. I'm not God, but I look at how mean some of them are. Hey, I always felt like I would think that a pastor, some pastors, growing up, I've heard pastors say that, if you give me your light bill money, you're going to be blessed. When the truth of the matter is, and you know what, when people were so fearful of dying and going to hell because they push fear. You could die tomorrow and you weren't obedient. You're going to go to hell. Okay. When the truth of the matter is, hell, if you got your light bill money, you are already blessed and you need to go pay it. Okay. But they telling you get it. Give it to me and believe God to give it back to you. That's exercising faith. A lot of people have sat in the dark for that. And it's a lot of these pastors, so-called pastors, is going to pay. My dad used to always say, because, they say many are called, few are chosen. So they're saying a lot of the pastors that are pastors that was called. My dad used to always say, and he used to go on the radio and say, a lot of you Negroes wasn't called, you just went. And that's the God's truth. Okay. The same pastor on Winchester, I never forget, he said, he bought his wife some type of car. I believe it was an Escalade or something. And then people was talking about that because she thanked the congregation for buying her brand new car, her brand new Escalade and all of that. And so, you know, he got up there one Sunday. He was like, you know, a lot of people sitting up mad at me about all the things that I got that's gonna go to somebody else when I die anyway. When I die, I ain't gonna even have it no more. Folks, amen. Yes, Lord. Yes, Lord. Yes, Lord. I said, Lord, have mercy, Jesus. And then he said, so he was like, if I was riding around in a Jetta, the first thing people gonna say, they sure don't care nothing about that, Pastor. If I'm riding around in a little common car, that's a reflection of y'all. People gonna look at my congregation and say, y'all don't care nothing about me. I was like, wow, I cannot, because the truth of the matter is there was a lot of people in that congregation that would have loved the Jetta or Bug, whatever they called it during that time. They would have loved the Chevrolet. Okay, they would have loved that. Some of them were taking the bus to church or catching a ride to church, right? Giving the last dollar, believing God, if I give all my money here, then I believe some kind of way God gonna give it back to me when God had already blessed them and gave them the money. Okay. No, it wasn't Faulkner. The Black Barber says, so why doesn't he start giving away the stuff before he passes? Since he's so logical, stinking. I'm telling you, I am telling you. I've heard that before in churches. That's why church is a bad, right? And the thing about it is, it's good to go and praise and worship. And I love. Listen, I'm gonna tell you something. When you're in the atmosphere, when you're in a church and you got a good pastor, and that pastor is wanting to help you to elevate, and all of that. I likes to get to church early so I can go to the altar. My mama always taught me that. When I was growing up, my mama used to always say, we're gonna get to church early so we can go to the altar early. I like to go to the altar and pray. My mama always did it. And so I'm leaving everything here on the altar. Okay. That's one of the reasons why I always, when people try to talk about Paul Young's parents and his brother has helped me through some hard times, and they still helping me. His daddy has passed on now, bless his soul, but they still help me. And when I was going through earlier this year, I had not even been going to church. And I'll never forget, David reached out to me and said, Tam, why don't you come back to church? Why don't you just come and visit? And I'll never forget, okay? I have Funk here. The one that wants to talk about me, I have Funk here in my house. Okay. And he talked about me first. Okay. And like I said, I still been sparing that dude. But I have Funk here. And I said, okay. I was like, okay. I got up and I went to church. And I even told Funk, I said, why don't you come and go to church with me? Because there are some people at this church that I want you to meet, that I want you to get acquainted with, because they're going to be able to help you. Okay. And so he wouldn't do it. But anyways, I went. And as soon after church, as soon as I walked up to Pastor Young, she said, Tamara, what's wrong? She said, what's wrong? She said, you got to get back into before I said anything, she said, you got to get back into my grief counseling. She said, you got to come back. So they've helped me. So I don't talk about Paul Young because they had helped me before. I have a good pastor. He don't ask for much. We just had our 130th anniversary and we were asked to only pay $130. Wow. That's awesome. Okay. But anyway, there are good pastors, but they get overshadowed by the greedy pastors, the ones that take advantage of, poor old Sister Watermelon who she's 80 years old. Now, how can they live with themselves? These people are on a fixed income. You make them feel guilty. They already having issues with buying medication, buying food, paying the little bills they got to pay. And so you making them feel guilty. Lord, I'm already old. If I don't pay my tithes and offerings, I'm old. I want to go to heaven. So they going without. That damn pastor ain't get ready to buy no medicine. It's a lot of great pastors out there. It's so many great pastors out there. Yes, it is. All pastors are not bad. So I'm not on here talking about that. Then when you have pastors that they be getting a fight in the church because they going with all the women in the church, you have people say, when they say, well, that pastor needs to step down, you better not put your mouth on the main of God. That's how they talk. A bunch of damn fools. That's what, see, and my nerves is real bad too. So I can't, stuff like that I can't even deal with. You know, they don't even want you to talk about it. And when these pastors, I be watching some of these women, when a lot of these pastors have these scandals with these women, these women start flocking to the church. They call themselves saints. They get to flocking to the church hoping that they next. They be wanting to be next, okay? But that's when you know what? This man has had scandals in church. His girlfriend, his wife fighting. You don't put your mouth on a man of God. God. They put a T on the end of a man of God. So, I mean, it's a lot of people that just like being blinded. A bunch of damn fools. They be messy and mean. Diane says, it makes me mad for anybody to mistreat. Yeah, it makes me so mad for anybody to mistreat the elderly. I don't like to see nobody mistreat nobody. But I definitely don't like to see nobody mistreat the elderly or children. Okay? The elderly or children. He is just going to pray for you and put his hands in places he shouldn't, and or his eyes and cup. But it's a lot of lust demons on these. Because I'm gonna tell y'all something, y'all. I used to love to, Donnie McClurkin's music. I loved his music. I read his book, From Victim to Victor. Donnie McClurkin says that his uncle and his uncle's son, who was older than him, they actually raped him. They penetrated him. He said his mother was standing in the window one day looking at them play in the yard. And his youngest brother's ball bounced and went out into the street, and the little brother ran behind the ball. At that time, a car was coming. He said his mother tried to come from out of the house. By that time, it was too late. The car was flying, hit his little brother. He said, and his mother had a nervous breakdown, had to go into the crazy house. Okay. He said, so his father was in the household, but his father was still trying to work, and asked his brother if he would help out with them. So while his mother was in the mental institution, his father worked. Him and his siblings stayed with his uncle. He said the first night that he got there, his uncle sexually penetrated him. Okay. He said it messed his sexuality up. He says, so all through his teens and all of that, his 20s and stuff, he said he was totally messed up. He was messing around with men. He said because he would go to a church. I'm going to tell y'all something. I love the song I Came for Deliverance. That was one of his breakout songs. Well, people know it from We Fall Down, but We Get Up. But I Came for Deliverance is my favorite song on that album. And in that book, he says that when he would go into churches, and he said he was trying to figure out how to be more masculine. He said he didn't like doing what he was doing. He was just messed up. That's all he knew. He said, so when he would start going to these churches and start, trying to get involved in the church and hoping to get close to the pastors and the deacons so that they could help him and teach him how to be masculine and deliver him from that's sexuality mix up he said he had. He said, after a while they would start saying, why don't you come and go on a resort, come and go to a resort with me and this and that. He said, so every church that he went in, he said them pastors, and he would be going really for help. And the next thing you know, they were taking advantage of him all through his teens, taking him on vacation, taking him out of town. I want you to go with me out of town to a preaching engagement. He said they took advantage of him. He said, so in his 20s, he was walking in New York. That's where he's from. He said, and that was his church having a revival. And he said he walked into the church and sat in the back of the church. And that's where that song, I Came for Deliverance, came from. He said, because he was saying those things in his mind. God, I came for deliverance. You said you would deliver me. And that's what I believe. He said every time it's a difference when you want to be homosexual. That's one thing. I don't have nothing against people like that. It's another thing when it's learned behavior and you fighting with those demons and saying, I want to be a heterosexual, but I've been totally messed up. So it's a lot of spiritual leaders or so-called spiritual leaders that's going to have to pay for a lot of what they've done. A lot of girls go to the church. A lot of prostitutes go to the church. When they want to come in off of the street, they want deliverance. They tired of being on drugs. They tired of being out in the street. They've been messed up too. A lot of them have been misused and abused from the time that they was little. I used to work with this lady, okay, and she tells her story all the time. We work together at the sheriff's office, and she's in the church. She's a evangelist, and me and her had started. She had a lot of okay. But anyway, she tell her story quite a bit. Okay. She talked about how she had to go stay with her father. And she said, I've been delivered from it. She was a lot older than me. She said, I've been delivered from it. And when she would start telling her story of what these old men did to her when she was a little girl, y'all, my stomach would ball up. And I'm like, I know she couldn't really be, because she would be preaching and or she would because I would go to some of her stuff, but she would talk about I'm delivered, God deliver me, but she get the crying. I don't know how she could have been. You carry that with you forever, y'all. It tortures me, because she would be talking about my dad would tell me to sit on the porch of one of his friends' house and until I get home, and then and I'd be so scared. The next thing I know, they say, come in. Come on in the house. And so she was talking to me one day, and she said, when I remember that one time when I was sitting on my dad's friend's porch and friend's porch, and one of them called me in the house, and she was 6 years old. She said, and I never forget, he had a birthmark on his penis. And he said, put this in your mouth. And I remember asking him, what's that on your penis? I just remember it looked weird. A 6-year-old. That's the reason why when these motherfuckers get around here and start talking about these women, bitches and hoes, and they want this, and that. You bitches don't know what these women have been through. A lot of these women, I worked for the police department for 25 years. Okay. I know a lot of these women that's out here that is promiscuous is because they have been sexually assaulted as children. I don't have nothing for no man. And these women better start watching these men that don't have no empathy for when these girls and stuff are raped and stuff. What she was asking for it. That's a predator on the low. I know a predator when I see one. That's the reason why when these bitches get on here and start messing with me, it ain't normal for a man to be constantly trying to harass. I'm talking about as far as wanting to know I want to know your address. I want to know what this. I know that about you. That's a damn predator. I don't trust you. I got to put the police on you. Use a predator, bitch. Okay? So I got to put them on you. And I got to cover myself. And I got to cover myself so when you come to my door and I knock you down, it's already documented. Because that's what I'm going to do. Okay? But a lot of these people, it's learned behavior. If you ever talk to these prostitutes, when they used to bring them prostitutes, when I was a clerk and I was a typist and felony responsible, I first started working for the police department, them prostitutes would be very candid. Why are you on drugs? I gotta get high. I got tried it and I got strung out. Now I'm out there selling myself so that I can support my habit. Okay, well, why don't you? Well, I gotta get high. I can't have, they can't even have sex with these men if they ain't high. It grossed them out for these men. It ain't normal for different men to be going all into your temple and stuff. So they have to get high so that they can, I guess, I don't know, I won't say desensitize, become numb to whatever it is that's going on, because that ain't even normal. Okay, she doing it because she likes you. Now she got a habit. She don't even like you. You gross to her. Okay. So it's a lot of people. I'm really blessed. My grandmama and them, and I think I did it to my children. My grandmama and them then let me spend the night at Vanessa house. I spent the night at Vanessa house, and I would spend the night with some family members. But I was not allowed to spend the night at different people's houses. I never let my kids. As I had started working for the police department around the time my girls were babies, I saw so much of what they did to babies. I never let my girls spend the night with nobody. Okay. He says, you're right. Go link up with one of my OGs and move around at games, extensions with him. I leveled up and he's happy I'm still going. And but dead or in jail, luggage money, Rolex money. How I can be and will. Press itch. What's that? What's press itch? I don't know what that is. Streets. City Street TV. Okay. That's what I said. Desensitized, didn't I? Okay. Anyway, y'all, hit the like button. Now I want to talk about finesse 2 times. Okay. Now, let me just say this. We'll get back to the preachers. Now, Pastor Marvin Winans is wrong because Marvin Winans is rich. Pastor Winans is rich. Just he's wealthy. I'll say this just from off of his music. I mean, he's a great singer. He is. I love his music. I do. But he mean. Okay. But finesse 2 times is he was arrested. Now, let me say this about finesse. I know I talks about finesse, okay? Y'all bear with me. My head is stopped up, okay? I be taking all kinds of vitamins and I've been eating some hot stuff, so it's got my nose running. I said predators. I said predators. I don't remember what I said. Now let me just say this. I don't be wanting. When Finesse went to jail the last time, I said free Finesse. Finesse stupid, and it seemed like to me that Finesse has gotten on. I think the industry, unfortunately, I think the industry has chewed him up and maybe spit him out. Okay. I don't be wanting to see Finesse in jail. I don't think Finesse is doing enough to go to jail. Okay. What he do with Sugar and them. Now we talk about him, but Sugar know how to leave. She a grown woman. Okay. But I was wanting to see somebody send me the charge. Somebody send me Finesse 2 times charges. I didn't get a chance to look at what his charges were. But I be hating because I think Finesse is, I'm sure he got his flaws. Okay. I'm sure he's got his flaws. He's a flawed person. and all of that. But Finesse he's talented, right? I don't be wanting to see him in jail. I do hope that Finesse go and get himself, he go to the rehab. Okay. I hope that he goes to the rehab because it's obvious he's on something. Finesse is talented. He's one of the hardest to come out of Memphis. Now, people talk about him and Moneybag. Listen, people like Moneybag, and Moneybag is talented, but I've always said I felt like Finesse was more talented than Moneybag. Okay. I do. Their flow is the same. I can believe Finesse when he says Moneybag got his flow from him, because you listen to some of Moneybag's old music. I ain't no real big Moneybag fan, but he is talented. Okay. And so I can believe that. I can believe that he got a flow from Finesse and all of that. Which is why we tried to tell Finesse, Finesse, you hot. Because when he got out, you couldn't get, I was pushing him so hard. Like, folks was telling me, you know, Finesse is a snitch. I said, get your ass up out my damn channel. You won't be talking about no damn Memphis rapper, not unless it's God in them up in here. Okay, because you know we pissed off at God in them for what they did to another Memphian, which is Dolph. We don't mess with him on this channel like that. Okay, I ain't got no issues with nobody liking him or saying I support him, but I don't mess with him like that over here. He don't get no good publicity on this channel. Okay. But anyways, we were saying Finesse. Okay. Don't sign with Moneybag. Finesse was so hot. He was blazing so hard. You could tell that he was hungry. He had sat in jail. He reminded me of Tupac when Tupac sat in jail and came out and wrote all that good music. Okay. And he was hot when he got out. He was hungry when Suge Knight them came and got him. Finesse had wrote all that music. He was hungry. He was ready. Finesse was so hot. You could put a cigarette to him and he was and light your cigarette. That's how hot he was. Okay. I thought something about a predator. Oh, I said they are predators. Oh yeah, they are predators. Look, quit. Shit, what's going on? So I'm gonna have to make me some damn coffee, y'all. I'm gonna have to blow my nose too. I hate to be constantly. My head stopped up. Okay, yeah, I be telling y'all everything, don't you? How in the world did Finesse introduce contraband into a correctional facility while being arrested? Would have thought they found it all during initial search. So they're saying that since he's been arrested yesterday, that he has some contraband in the facility. Now I'm gonna say this: how did Finesse get pulled over? Because I believe Scooby-Doo called on him. Scooby-Doo still mad at Finesse, and let me just say this about Scooby-Doo. Scooby-Doo. Wait a minute! God damn it! I said be quiet. Be quiet. What is y'all going on with y'all? Hold on, y'all. These dogs get to bark and make me think something. I know damn well ain't no up in here. But they bark so much, it makes me get to looking. That's like my pistol right next to me. Anyways, I wouldn't be surprised if Scooby-Doo didn't do it, because I was gonna say this now. I'm not in it. Okay. Cece is my first cousin. She is look, stop. She is definitely my first cousin. Okay. But Cece come from a really good family and all of that. I'm gonna say this, okay? He's sitting up talking about Cece keeping then turn his son against him. Cece's son is a big boy. Okay, he's a big boy. He's sitting up listening to Cece's son is sitting up listening to Scooby-Doo talk about his mama, calling her all kinds of bitches and hoes and all of that. Cece takes care of her damn son. So what kind of man are you to get on? That's why your son don't like you. What kind of man are you to get on here and talk about your child, your son's mother like that? And your son is a damn teenager sitting up listening to you. Your son love his mama. She take care of him. She takes very good care of him. You think he gonna love you and have more loyalty to you than he do his own motherfucking mama? That woman taking care of your son, bitch. How you gonna sit up and do a whole 3-hour live talking about she turned my son against me? You turn your son against you. When you get on here and talk about his mama like that, you should be ashamed of yourself with the way you did that. Don't no real men do that. That woman taking care of your son and you talk about her like that. And that's why your son don't like you, Scooby-Doo. Okay? But I find it weird, you know, they say finesse on drugs, and I believe that he might be. He is. He say he on perks, and I think he admitted that. Okay. But I want to see finesse get some counseling, and I want to see finesse go to rehab. Okay. Hold on, y'all. Let me put up something. Hold on. I forgot to put this up. I ain't been putting it up. I forget. I don't want to see him in jail. I think everybody can't handle fame. And I think finesse is one of those ones that can't handle fame. I think he's one of those ones that haven't been able to handle it. And if you can't handle it, if you're not well grounded, and he was already unhinged. But I think he wanted to get out and make his money and stuff. I think he did. But he read the comments too much. If you start believing, if you start, reading the comments, you can start going at these trolls. I mean, you'll become even more unhinged. Okay? But he might be out. I haven't checked. Somebody said that he was in jail for fentanyl. Y'all, is it true? I think somebody sent me for this thing. Hold on one second. I think Cypress sent me something on finesse. Hold on, y'all. Y'all, where did finesse get picked up at? Anybody know where he got picked up at? I could look and see. What's his name? Ricky Hampton. I don't be feeling like, hold on. I guess I'm gonna have to look it up myself. Hold on. I guess I have to look it up myself. Just give me a minute. Hold on. He's in Harrison, Texas. Is his name Ricky Lachey? He made his bond. Okay. Let's see. Lord. Hold on, y'all. Let me see. Let me see what I can find. Ricky Lachey. Hold on, y'all. Y'all, give me just a second. Hold on, y'all. And he out because it's not showing me. It's not showing me he's in jail, so he's out. At least not what I've checked so far. Hold on, y'all. Hold on, you all. Possession of controlled substance, prohibited substance in a correctional facility, possession of dangerous drug, and tampering, fabricating physical evidence. It didn't say anything about any fentanyl. It says it says including marijuana. Possession, including marijuana possession of controlled substance, prohibited substance in a correctional facility, possession of dangerous drug, and tampering. They say he had a possession of a dangerous drug. Hey, square beige. Oh wow. I'll be messed up in the head too. And my middle name was Lachey. It's a lot of men got that name. The O'Shea. Um, I tell you, I can't see where he's still booked, so maybe he's out. I was just looking at Finesse history. Finesse been to jail so much it don't make no sense. Hold on, you all. Let me just look at something right quick. Wow. I tell you. It says mine is LaShawn. Well, I mean, I hope Finesse gets because Finesse is talented. He know how to make hits. But I think what he's gonna have to do is he's gonna have to limit what he shows to the internet. They said Sugar Free got her man and get more into the music. Like now I don't know Finesse personally, okay, but like when Finesse got out, Finesse was hot. Everybody was trying to sign him, and I think that Moneybagg and them was one. This is in my personal opinion. Finesse was going up. He was hotter than them, so I think they wanted to sign him to really put a halt on that flame he had going. They wanted to sizzle out that flame. And sure enough, I kind of feel like that's what they did. Y'all hold on one second. Just hold on. Okay, you are. I'm back. So I'm gonna be praying. I said a prayer for Finesse the last time, and I'm gonna be praying for him. Like I said, um, I don't think he knows how to handle fame. I think he's messed up about probably a lot of shit he's done. Like I don't know how much money he has. I don't count people money, but I'm pretty sure that he had a lot of people around him. Hold on, y'all. Okay, I'm back, you guys. Um, I'm pretty sure, like I said, they did. Yeah, he did. Regardless of how he feels about his mother, you shouldn't. I mean, I wonder, do he knows how much bad luck is affiliated with disrespecting your mama? And then the only thing he could say is, "I didn't ask to be born." Well, you're right. You didn't ask to be born, but she didn't have to take care of you. Now, Finesse and them looking at the areas, thinking about the areas, he said he grew up in Memphis. I mean, around that time, everybody was struggling. Folks did the best that they could. People did the best that they could. So, these kids, he said up talking about, when I went to jail, I see Finesse gonna have to deal with that. When I went to jail, ain't nobody did enough for me, motherfucker. Didn't nobody tell you to take your ass to jail. See, folks go and get themselves in trouble and get mad because they feel like you're supposed to always inconvenience yourself. It's one thing when a person get in trouble. Okay, well, I'm gonna help them, but you making it a lifestyle. You constantly going to jail. Folks ain't having money like that. They hustling and stuff. Now, I mean, people have their own lives. You choose to go and commit crimes. So you want somebody to come and see you every time you have visitation. Don't nobody want to sit up in no damn jail because you don't know how to stay out. See, people gonna have to start taking responsibility. Didn't nobody give me nothing. They probably ain't had nothing to give you, but you chose to stay in trouble and take your ass to jail. Well, if my mama had did this, then I wouldn't have had to go to jail. How come you didn't go get you a job or something? You could have went and worked at McDonald's or Burger King. You know what gets me? Is how I be hearing a lot of these people sit up and tell my man, I ain't working at no Burger King or nothing. They go rob in stores and committing burglaries and all that. Mama, I had to do it because my mama wouldn't give me no money. What's wrong is a lot of these mother suckers is just very ungrateful. And they asses needed an ass whooping that they couldn't take. Okay, that's all that was wrong with them. They needed an ass whooping that they couldn't take. That's my grandma used to say. You need an ass whooping that your ass can't take, and that's what they needed. Okay, so I hear him. He got a lot of flaws that he brought up on himself. That is something that he chose to do, and he gonna have to take responsibility for that. It was not his mama's fault. I'm sure his mama didn't want to see him constantly going in and out of jail. Nobody want to see their child going in and out of jail all the darn time. When is he going to go to his mama and say, Mama, I apologize for putting you through that? Instead, he want to go and commit the crimes and that's what he wanted to do, and then blame his mama because he got caught. Okay, he wrong. I mean, he's gonna have to deal with that. Okay. And I think Finesse needs to change his mindset, but Finesse, is very talented. You can't take the talent away. You can't. He is talented. He's one of the best to come from out of Memphis. It ain't a whole, and it's a whole. He's got a different style of his own, his rhyme and all of that. You could tell he in that jailhouse. He ain't had nothing. He been in jail, had been in jail more than he been out. He ain't had nothing but time but sitting there and perfect it to be able to rhyme like that right off the top of his head. But that brother gonna have to start taking accountability. He might not be a bad person, but he getting closer to 40. It's time for him to change his mindset. Now, I don't know how much money he's thrown away. He's stupid, so I'm sure he's thrown a lot of it away. But the thing about it is he's got the talent to change his mindset and go get it back. He got the talent. I don't care what he lost. He can go get it back if he get off the drugs, change his mindset. He ain't lost the talent. As long as you got the talent, you can go get it back. But if you're a damn fool, you ain't gonna do nothing but lose it again. You're just gonna lose it twice. That's why I say he needs to go get himself some help. Getting on drugs, whatever it is, I'm sure he done got in bed with a whole lot of crooks. They knew the game. He didn't. He got in bed with a lot of crooks, and after he signed with him, he got the opportunity to see how they was. He already knew how Moneybag was. Okay. Okay. So hey, yeah, y'all run the likes up if you haven't donated to the channel. Did I do the donation thing? Did I put the donation thing up? Yeah, I got a donation thing going on, so y'all make sure y'all donate to the channel. Okay. I've been good in live today. I had a lot of energy today. Hey, Think Twice podcast. There go my booze. What's going on? What's tonight? Is tonight Monday night or Tuesday night? I don't think they come on tonight. Y'all come on Monday, Wednesday, Friday. I don't think they come on tonight. It's okay, so it's Tuesday night. So they'll be on tomorrow night. Y'all, those are the twins. Have y'all seen the twins? Thank you, darling. He said, we in here. Y'all hit the like button. Shout out to the twins. I was in there. I was on their channel. I'm always on their channel in the bushes. I'm always on their channel in the bushes. Shout out to the twins from New Orleans. They got a good show, y'all. They be talking about relationships and all the stuff that's going on in New Orleans. I'm gonna tell y'all something. Listen. I love y'all too. Thank you so much, darling. Listen, I gotta say, I've totally, y'all, OG Murder have me. Listen, I know everybody be getting mad at OG Murder, but I'm sorry, I can't get mad at him. OG Murder had me laughing so hard. I be laughing so hard at OG Murder. He is so funny to me. And I don't see why people be getting mad, because with the way he say stuff, when OG Murder said OG Murder said he told I believe it was Tech Nine. He said, I told Tech Nine, you can't come in here no more. He said, L no, I hollered. He started trying to say it in Spanish. I got to send OG Murder his $1. He said, send me $1. I have to send him $1. Shout out to OG Murder. He from out of New Orleans too. He got a good show too. The twins got a good show too. I be loving looking at the twins. Twins is real cute too, y'all. Y'all make sure y'all hit the like button. Make sure you guys please like, share, and subscribe. T, apparently you ain't got enough energy to text already, acting like you're from the Steven, listen, I'm gonna tell y'all something. Today, What we talking about tonight? We're talking about finesse 2 times, was arrested, and we're talking about Pastor Marvin Winans chastised the woman for giving $1,200. So I'm gonna go back over there because I know the twins and them may want to talk about this. I'm gonna go back over. I don't know if is this Shadon or is it Kareem. I'm gonna show this again because y'all might want to talk about this on y'all channel too, twin. Hold on. So Pastor Marvin Winans, a singer from the Winans group, okay, and then he went solo. He chastised a lady in his church for only giving $1,200. Okay, so for y'all that's just coming here, I'm gonna let y'all see it again.
Roberta McCoy, giving faith and stand in unity within the perfecting church of sowing this seed of $1,000 plus $235 and receiving the blessings to come to all that participated.
Now that's only $1,200.
Yes.
Y'all not listening to what I'm saying. If you have 1,000 plus 1,000.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna work on the other 800.
Well, that ain't what I asked you to do.
Now, he didn't have no issues, okay? He didn't have any issues with how he made that lady feel, okay? Now, this lady, like I said, $1,200 is a lot of money to give to a church at one time. $1,235 just with her giving $1,235, okay? That makes me feel like he said, I would have said, give me my, I'm telling you, with her giving $1,235, that makes me think she gave him everything that was in her purse because that's an odd number. He asked for $2,000, but she gave him $1,235. So I believe that was she gave him everything she had, and he talked to that lady like that, and that's a wealthy man because they're saying he wants to build a church that is between 13 to 17 million or 13 to 15 million, 13 or 15 million dollars. He's wanting to build a church between 13 or 15 million. I forget what it was. It might have been 17 million. And so now he's wanting his congregation to give $2,000 a piece. And $2,000 is a lot of money. When you're talking about, I'm sure it's not a whole lot of young people in that church. So, because young people don't really go to church like that anymore. So you're talking about older people that have retired, that's on a fixed income, right? So they should be ashamed of themselves. They really should. They should be ashamed. He should, because remember now, a few months ago, Pastor Marvin Sapp locked the church doors. He went to a church, remember, and they was talking about filing charges on him for kidnapping. He told them to lock the church doors and not let anybody out until they brought him up like $200. So he went to a church to preach and sing, and he said, don't nobody leave or go nowhere until you come and bring me. It was like $200 or $300. So he had them to lock the church doors. They was talking about charging him with kidnapping and everything. So stuff like this is just gone too far. It is. You know, when you're thinking about people that, like I said, that's one of the reasons why that my dad used to always open up Miss Gurley's restaurant in North Memphis. Okay. Open up Miss Gurley's restaurant in North Memphis the week before Thanksgiving and feed the whole community, okay? But because my dad was pushing laborers, they didn't like that, okay? So you didn't see the main medias or anything out there to promote really what my dad had going on. So that's the reason why my dad had started me a media. He was like, well, if they won't put it out there, and we'll start a media and we'll put out our own stuff. So the thing about it was, when it started getting out, you know, my dad would start sending letters and stuff to all of the churches so that they could bus, especially their seniors, to get a free meal. And what we started saying, because I started going up there and sitting with my dad when they would be up there giving all their food away. And what you would see is you would see a lot of the pastors at the church coming through with their wives and their children, getting them a plate. So my dad was like, well, where your congregation at? Why didn't you bust your congregation? They never had any words for it. They wouldn't go and have nobody to come and get plates and take to the seniors, but they would come with their families and get that good soul food that Miss Gurley's was giving out. They're getting them a free plate. You see what I mean? So it's like messed up. And my dad always like had a heart for North Memphis because my dad grew up in North Memphis basically, because they didn't move to South. They didn't move out to Whitehaven. Stop. They didn't move out to Whitehaven until my dad was like 16 or 17. So he had already grown up to my dad's senior year. So he had already grown up in North Memphis over there off of Norman Street. Okay. So y'all know it's the heart of North Memphis, right? So I think the way that a lot of things are being done is totally, completely just, it's been messed up for a real long time. It's been messed up for a while. And so, like I said, a lot of the younger generation, they're starting to catch on to the game. They're catching on to the game. They've been caught on to the game, and it turns them off when you're saying that I got to give you all I got, and I'm already out here hustling and struggling in order for my soul to be saved, or in order for me to have the good luck that I want to have and all of that. So that's messed up on a whole nother level too. Okay. But he says, I would have said, yeah. But anyway, y'all, back to Finesse 2 Times. I'm gonna pray for Finesse 2 Times. I'm gonna pray for Finesse 2 Times to get his self together, because like I said, Finesse has the talent to be able to, whatever it was that he's lost, he's got the talent to be able to go get it back. But the thing about it is, Finesse 2 Times, okay, Finesse 2 Times, oh wow, I forgot I had to take this call. Hold on. Jessica, give me 30 minutes. I'm gonna call you right back. Okay. I'm gonna have to take that call. But Finesse 2 Times, this is a young lady I'm gonna do a show with about one of her loved ones that has been missing. So I told her to call me at 7:30. I forgot, and I'm still on here. So I'll call her back at 8:00 so that we can talk about her family coming to the Memphis area. Because they're from around the Nashville area, so that we can film the show. I'm gonna tell y'all something. When I had been wanting to do it, but I got the opportunity to see firsthand how On Network, when I did the show with On Network last week, how they had everything set up. I asked them, I said, can I take pictures of y'all's cameras and stuff and all the equipment that y'all got? I was looking at how much some of that stuff costs. I said, oh Lord, I just have to pray to the Lord, because they got real expensive stuff. But that's a national network, so I would expect that. But it's a lot of things that I want to start doing, and I think I'm going to start with them. I'm gonna have them to come to my studio, and I'm gonna kind of do it. I'm gonna try to replicate the way On Network did it with when I was, did the show last week. Oh, and I have another surprise too. I be having so much going on. Remember, I told y'all that well, I'll just say this is another opportunity and another blessing. And that's all I'm gonna say about that. I think it's gonna happen. So, anyway, y'all, shout out to Finesse 2 Times. I'm glad that he's freed, and I guess he's gonna stay off of YouTube. Let me see if his page is back up, because I wanted this Scooby Doo. Hold on, let me see something. His page is not back up yet. Let's see. Sugar. I think Sugar took her page down. Hmm. Finesse got anger issues too. That's why I say that Finesse need to he need to get himself some help. He need to get some counseling, and he need to I guess go to the rehab now, and then start perfecting his craft again. Try to get the right people around him, because he sit up and talk about how people be around him because they want something. So all he got to do is just change his circle. But it makes me think that he likes that some people want folks around them that be wanting what they have, that feeds their ego. But what he gonna have to do is, if he's gonna preserve what he has, he's gonna have to change his circle and his mindset, and start wanting to be around people that's got more than him and think differently than what he's used to. See, he want to be the one with the most in the room. He need to get around people where he's got the least in the room, and that's how he's going to be able to grow his network. Because if he don't, he's going to deplete it. You keep a bunch of broke people around you that's grudging and jealous and constantly pulling on your energy and want crumbs and stuff. They're going to be consistently depleting him. And then he might need to think about too. I know he don't like nothing better than a whore. So he probably ain't gonna be able to change that habit. That's just one of his vices, child. So I ain't trying to. I mean, going to the rehab, giving up the drugs, changing his mindset. That's enough. I mean, I guess he'd be thinking about suicide if he have to give up the whores, right? So, because I know he don't like nothing better than a whole child. So I ain't Finesse. You can just keep that if that's what you like, just keep it. But as far as changing his mindset, and he gonna have to if he want to preserve what he has and grow, because he's got the talent. Like I say, the dude is talented as they come. Okay, they're talented. He's talented. Tamara and Chad, have a blessed night. May some have the night they deserve. Thank you, Nene Loyal. That's me calling you. I have a perspective. Oh, so you're hold on. Let me turn my phone on. Y'all, the phone ain't even on, but let me turn it on. Hold on, girl. Let me charge. Let me turn this phone on. I wonder why. I don't think this one fits. I can never find. Hold on, y'all. Hold on. Give me 1 second. I could take some calls. Hold on. Okay, yeah, I'm gonna have to see what's going on. This phone ain't working right. It won't even charge. It won't even charge, y'all. hell. Anyways, y'all. I don't know what happened. Is this the wrong charger? No, that's the right charger. It's just something wrong. Lord, I need this phone to come back on. I don't even use this phone no more. It says Ricky say. Yeah, I don't know what happened. Anyways, I can't even turn the phone on to say calls because I can't get it to charge. I think something is broke in it. Lord. Ricky, stay your ass out of jail. Anyway, y'all, I got a quiz tonight. I just thought about it. I got another quiz tonight. Y'all, make sure y'all. I am so dedicated to making straight A's. I was like, I don't want to make no B's. I want to make all A's. All A's. So I studied already, but I just want to go over everything again before I take, because he says that we have until 12 midnight to take this particular quiz, and then it is going to disappear. It's going to lock up and I won't be able to take it. So I just thought about that. I want to go back over my notes. But anyways, Vanessa, I'm sorry, Lady Scutterfield. The phone it's something going on. I can't with this charger. Not with the charger, but with the phone. I think something in it or something broke at the end where I charge it. And I don't even use this phone no more. But I need it to come on. Shit. I do need it to come on. I think I'm going to have to take it somewhere. If I take it to a iPhone store, do they know how to open these phones up? Like, open it up and see if something is up in it? Because how come the charger won't fit in it no more? What happened when a charger won't fit into the phone no more? It was just fitting in there. It's almost like something is up in there. Anybody know anything about cell phones? And I mean, no charger that I use. Clean out the port. How you do that? How you clean out the port? Clean it out with what? A knife? That's the only thing that'll go up in there. What I need to clean it out with? All lint builds up in the inside. Oh, look like it's trying to come on now, but I'm holding it with alcohol. It might have debris in the port. Use a needle. Okay. Okay, that's what I do. I got to come on, but it won't charge. So it's not going to stay on. I bet that's what it is. Use a needle to clean the port. Okay. That's what it's got to be. Probably some buildup. Anyways, we're going to pray for Finesse 2 times for him to get himself right. And then get his mindset right. That's the only way he gonna succeed. Like I said, right now he still got the talent, but if he keep going down the rabbit hole, like being on drugs ain't gonna do nothing but take his take his talent away, and then he won't be able to go and make his money back. Right? He can change his reputation. Allegedly he has a reputation of not showing up at shows and all of that bad stuff. But if he if he all he got to do is just change that. That's all he got to do. Try and fix those broken relationships. And whatever he's been doing in the past that ain't right, he need to fix that. He need to change that. So anyway, y'all, I got to get off here because it's 8:00 already. It's going on 8:00. I want to be through with my exam by 10:00 so I can get myself in the shower, and I'm gonna get in the tub tonight so I can meditate. Y'all, I've been trying to get this company to advertise with me. I'm gonna say this, and I'm gonna tell y'all something. I really want this company to advertise with me. It is, and that's because I use their products, and I could really promote their products, but they're gonna have to pay me to do it. I already buy their stuff. It's organic, feminine hygiene stuff, and I love it. I love it so much. It definitely works. For the ladies, it helps, to keep your pH balance right. It's a Black-owned company. And I did see them advertising with one other female Black, but then they stopped once their name started getting out there. I could really promote their products. I could promote their products, but listen, y'all, it ain't nothing like that good. Listen, people can say what they want to. Now, I don't believe in using. Now, men, I know y'all don't want to hear this. I'm talking to the ladies now. To help with your pH balance, organic stuff like what they was using, like our great grandmothers and all of that, what they was using those rose petals, like organic stuff to help with their pH balance and all of that. But I buy from this company. It's a Black-owned company, and I have been buying from them now for like almost 2 years. They have organic yoni balls, ladies, and I'm telling you that they absolutely work. They have organic yoni balls. They have organic feminine hygiene stuff that's made out of nothing but organic stuff. Like it's so awesome. It is. Like when I tell y'all, the oranges and the grapes and the watermelons and it's made out of nothing but organic herbal stuff. And it has that and that's what you're gonna smell like. I'm telling you. Okay. So for the lady, that's why they should advertise with me. The ladies that got husbands, they say I should promote only to the married people, sis. Your husband gonna be happy. He might have debris in for it. Anyways, you guys, I gotta study for my test. I love you all. I get on here and get to talking some more, and I'm worried about my phone. I'm gonna clean my phone, and I'm gonna do what y'all said do. Okay, I'm gonna clean it out, and I'm gonna use a little bit of alcohol. Okay, and then tomorrow night, um, I'm gonna come back on tomorrow night too. I might be able to stay on a little longer tomorrow because I don't have a test tomorrow. Shout out to the Ridgecrest. They was real. They was they treated a sister good. Okay, they good people over there in Ridgecrest. Okay, shout out to them. All right, shout out to the Ridgecrest. Anyways, you guys, I love you all. Okay. Make sure you guys please like, share, and subscribe. If you want to support the channel, you can support the channel via Cash App, Super Thanks, Super Chat. Y'all have a good night. Free Finesse 2 times, but he already free. We're gonna pray for Finesse 2 times. Let me say a prayer before we get off here. Dear God, I just thank you for everyone that was on this live. No weapon formed against any of us shall prosper. Anything that rises up against any of us shall be condemned. Anybody that came in here with ill intentions, ill thoughts, spoke curses, evil spells, we curse it at the root, send it back to the sender. May it manifest in their very own lives in less than 30 days. God, I thank you for protecting us all, protecting our families. I ask that you go before us on our jobs tomorrow. Make the highways and the byways safe so that each and every one of us can make it back home to our families just the way we left. I ask that you watch over all of us as we sleep tonight. Everybody's family that has to be out to go to work, everybody's child that's out in the street, God, I ask that you bring them in off of the street. Dear God, I just ask that you touch and I ask that you touch Finesse 2 times. God, I ask that you just take that spirit of codependence that he has on him. Take the taste for drugs out of his mouth. You gave him a talent, God. You said the gifts come without repentance. Make him the man that he should be for his children, for his family. Give him the right mind. Give him the right mindset. Put the right people around him. Let him know that the gifts, make him remember that the gifts come from you, and that just give him a spirit of a heart of giving. Okay. Anyways, guys, it's been a pleasure. I'll talk to you all tomorrow night.